Honolulu's Bernice Bishop Museum. The sport of surfing was once reserved for the alihi, or royalty, who rode giant Olo surfboards. Duke tells us a little bit about his board.
Hi, surfers. Aloha. This is it. I'm standing right alongside of my solid California redwood, and it weighs about 114 pounds and is about 16 feet long. It's very heavy to carry. In the old days, we didn't have any cars to pack these heavy boards around. There were no such a thing. I made this board, and we had no tools in those days. And as you see in my hands here, they were calipers. By doing this, they get the shape of my boards, so you get the shapes on the edge. The tools that he used is something else. And of course, we didn't have any skag on this board, just plain underneath. And I was able to ride this board way out in Castle Surf. And I rode this big particular day, these big waves. I rode for about 1.8 miles, and that's a long distance. The waves were about 35 feet high.
A leading innovator in modern surfboard design is George Downey, born and raised in Hawaii and a masterful surfer himself.
Surfboards, like surfing styles, have changed. The old Hawaiians using the old boards, which were anywhere from 14 feet to 16 foot long, weighing about 200 pounds. Waikiki and surfed other places on the Hawaiian Islands with one idea in mind. It was to get on a wave and to make the longest ride as possible. After the redwood boards came the balsa wood surfboards, then came the foam boards. These boards became a lot more part of the surfer as compared to the heavier boards, which directed the surfer and made it impossible, or just about impossible, for the rider to change directions on the heavier boards. The lighter boards became part of the surfer's feet, became part of him, and as such allowed him to become more creative. As the weight of these surfboards changed from a heavy 200-pound board to a 30-pound board, shapes became very important. It was found that with the use of a fin, the bottoms were able to become shaped a lot flatter, allowing more maneuverability, to do more things on the wave, to turn, to slide, to do cutbacks, to do bottom turns. These are the things that the younger generation are demanding. And the knowledge of shapers throughout the world who create these surfboards with a plane and some sandpaper, and the use of fiberglass to give it strength, they know a lot about surfboards. And the more the younger generation demands, they'll get what they want. Surfboards have varied characteristics depending upon the type of bottom that is put on the board. The olden type boards had a more flat bottom with a very round or an elliptical rail. As boards became lighter, they became a lot flatter. And when the skeg started to be used, even flatter more. As the demands of the younger generation has come about in the last 2 to 3 years, we are finding that a little more rounder bottom, very similar to surfboards that were used somewhere in the 40s, are becoming very useful in cooperation with the skeg. When you start putting a little roundness on the bottom, they have a little more drag at certain times. This allows the surfer to be able to stay right on top, right at the deepest section of the wave, and allows him to maintain this position and maintain control of the position. Probably one of the most important changes that have taken place is that the surfer is wanting to get locked in, is wanting to get and set himself and maintain a position within the curl with full control. This is what the surfer wants to do, to stay within the most critical part of the wave. And even though he takes the chance of getting caught and getting thrown off his board, that's unimportant to him. He wants to become part of it. He wants to become part of this massive wave. He wants to become part of this feeling of being suspended on a cliff, of falling, free falling from different sections of this cliff, and yet after free falling, being able to catch himself and continue on.